and the PowerPoints and everything with you later after we've completed all these. And this is the website that you can also find the leadership training guide at. The items we're going to be covering in today's presentation are international information, Michigan district information, the president's position, and then we'll be taking your questions at the end. We are the Michigan District of Kiwanis. Kiwanis was founded right here in Michigan in 1915. And it originated, the first club was in Detroit, and Detroit #1 club is still an active and thriving club today. The motto for Kiwanis International is serving the children of the world. They also have their defining and vision statement listed here on this slide if you want to take a moment to read those. Kiwanis has 6 main objectives they're listed here on these slides. Also, if you want to take a moment to read over those. And here's 2 more. Kiwanis International also has the strategic plan. The strategic plan is like a roadmap for Kiwanis to achieve their goals. And it has 5 pillars: membership and engagement, leadership and education, community impact, branding and image, and financial viability. And then the Michigan District also has its own strategic plan, and this is listed out here in some detail if you want to take a second to read that. In the Michigan District's part of its strategic plan, it has 4 priorities, and our incoming governor, Fran, has some goals and strategies that fit into these 4 priorities, and will expand on our 5-year plan to move forward in a positive trajectory. They are inspiration, impact, image, and investment. And then each club in the Michigan District should also have its own strategic plan. So if your club doesn't have one, it's a great thing to get working on for your year as president. Where do you fit into the big picture of Kiwanis? Here's a quick snapshot of where you fit in. We're going to go over this a little bit more in detail later in the presentation. And now I'm going to turn it over to our incoming governor for the 2021 year, Governor Fran Babbage.
Good morning, everyone. Just a quick comment. This picture that you're seeing on your screen was pre-COVID, and the 10 pounds heavier little girl in the picture here is with COVID, or with the time of COVID. I'm going to take my video off because I talk with my hands and I probably distract you. Okay, I'm excited and looking forward to working with you this coming year, and welcome to the Club Leadership Training for Presidents. Let's go get off to a great start next year. We have had several rough months, but we are Kiwanis and we will remain strong. We need to start our year with enthusiasm and resolve. Haley, turn this to the next slide. Okay, we're the next one already. We need to help everyone start smiling again and be in harmony. We need to guide our members to get back to doing what we joined Kiwanis for, helping all children have a better life. We need to guide and help our members to enjoy doing old and new service projects that help the children. I would like to repeat the vision statement so that we could all go over this again, and I feel it's important so that one day all children will wake up in communities that believe in them, nurture them, and provide the support they need to survive. I think this is an important part of our vision statement. For the 2021 year, I have 3 main and equal goals. They are service, communications, and membership. Do you read the statements underneath them for a second? The first goal I'll go over is the communications. We need to spread the word that we are Kiwanis. We need to develop better communications within our club and with other clubs. We need to help clubs, if they do not already know how, to learn how to make a website and a Facebook page. We have members willing and able to teach how to create these websites or Facebook pages. We also need to help people understand how to communicate with the community, who we are. We are establishing a marketing technology committee that will be able to help you with this effectively. We still need a few more members on this committee, so if you know someone that's good in technology or marketing, please give me a call. The membership goal, right now we have a great membership team that will help you learn how to get new members. Later in the afternoon, they will be doing a presentation that will help you explain that to you, what a club coach does and how it can help your club, and explain the benefits of sponsoring a service leadership program. The third goal is service. Serving the children is our main purpose. That is why I joined Kiwanis and probably why you joined Kiwanis. I want to encourage clubs to do more service projects, encourage clubs to do joint service projects with their service leadership programs or other clubs. I want to promote the program called Children Are Our Future. I have worked along with several other Kiwanis members to develop this program for the 2021 year. I thought you might like to briefly hear about it now before you can start thinking about what your club could do to start a new project. The purpose of the project is not only to fulfill our promise to improve the lives of children by creating new service projects that provide parents and grandparents tools, skills, and resources that help children 0 to 5 years old grow educationally, physically, socially, and/or emotionally, but also to encourage the members to get out to the community and let others become aware of what we do. When I taught school, the preschool teachers often said they felt they were busy teaching the parents how to work with the development of their child than they were working with the child. I've heard young parents state that they need to know where to go to get help. This is where Kiwanis needs to step in. We need to design service projects that can help them. I, along with my co-chairs, past Governor Marianne O'Higgins and past District Chair of Young Children Priority 1, Nancy Memmer, will hold presentations both online and at our virtual convention explaining the guidelines of the project and discussing ideas for the projects. A patch has been designed, and once the club completes the 4 requirements, hopefully the patch will be given out at the district convention. In conclusion, again, the 3 goals are interrelated with each other. The more we communicate with our community, the more they know about Kiwanis. The more they know about Kiwanis, the more they want to do service projects to help our children. The more service projects we want to join Kiwanis. And the more new members, the more service projects we can do to help the children of the world. I will now turn our training session back over to Haley to discuss the role of president.
Thanks, Fran. So again, all the information presented today can be found in the leadership guide or on the Michigan Kiwanis website. The goals of this session today are to provide you to lead your Kiwanis club for the upcoming service year. The main roles as club president are to set goals and set the direction of your club to ensure that club operations are running smoothly. As president, you will lead meetings of the club and of the board of directors. A few great examples of qualifications for a club president are: a president should empower and inspire members, manage their time well, builds relationships with community members and leaders, facilitates club meetings, and leads by example. In the Kiwanis network, where do you fit in? As mentioned earlier, your Kiwanis club is part of a division. Your division is part of the Michigan District, and the district is part of Kiwanis International. It's important to fill out the proper reports each month within your club and maintain communication with district representatives that reach out to you. It'll mostly be your lieutenant governor. This is how international and district are aware of the great work your club is specifically doing. Make sure to share information that international or the district sends to your club. They may address it to you via snail mail or email. And it's not always sent to all the club members. Sometimes it's just shared with the officers to pass along. An inter-club is when two members of your Kiwanis club or more visit another club at their meeting, event, or fundraiser. Inter-clubs are a great opportunity to get service hours or help with a project that your club can volunteer for but doesn't necessarily have the time to plan. Your club will learn and grow from opportunities talking with other club members. Maybe a club half an hour away from you has a great idea for a service project or fundraiser that would work if you modified it for your community. Keep an eye out for divisional meetings and rallies, district events such as district convention, and international events such as international convention. So what makes a successful club? Many things make a successful club, so try to focus on some things that need attention within your own club and set goals to improve those throughout your term as president. Work with the board and other officers to set goals and see what you would like to focus on. Improving the club's experience for members, maintaining or increasing membership, and increasing participation are all great ideas. Keep in mind, each club is successful in its own way, and each club is unique. A smaller club may not be able to reach a goal of 10 new members in a year, but that club can set its own goals that are relevant to them and work towards those goals. Overall, no matter how many members or how much money raised at a fundraiser, what makes a club successful is serving the children of the world. Kiwanis Service Leadership Programs, or otherwise known as SLPs, are leadership and character building programs hosted in a school or community agency and sponsored by a Kiwanis club. Service leadership programs have existed since the first Key Club was founded in 1925, just 4 years after the start of Kiwanis. The following pictured here are the different SLPs for different demographics. Kids are elementary school aged. Builders Club are middle school aged. Action Clubs are adults with disabilities. Key Club is high school, and Circle K is college or university students. Generally, you need about 15 students to charter a new SLP. Clubs can sponsor more than one SLP. You can sponsor a K-Kids, Builder Club, and Key Club, or you can sponsor multiple different Key Clubs at different schools. Supporting the youth through these programs is a key part of Kiwanis International. If your club does not already sponsor one or more SLP branches, please talk about it amongst your club and see if any schools nearby could benefit from it. The main support that SLP clubs need from Kiwanis clubs is financial support and mentorship. Working with the youth throughout these student-led programs is very rewarding for any Kiwanis club. Kiwanis is also the only service organization that teaches community service starting at the elementary level. As president, you will need to distribute youth protection guidelines to members once a year. Any Kiwanis member serving as an advisor to an SLP must have an active background check on file with Kiwanis International. There are no exceptions to this. Clubs may have additional policies regarding background checks for membership or certain projects, so please refer to your club's bylaws for more information. So what do I do as a club president? There are many roles of the president. In the next few slides, we're going to touch on a few specific items and ideas during your presidency to get your club more involved. Service. Survey your members to access your club's current projects. What projects does the club currently love? What projects need to be modified or changed to fit the current time? What project would members like to participate in that your club has not yet done? A great topic for your meeting agenda after completing a project is to recap with the members how it went. Was it a valuable experience? How can we make it more impactful? As president, keep in mind you can have committees for different projects if you don't already have these committees established. Delegating tasks. The president is not supposed to have to do everything. Many times, people say they don't want to run for president because they have too much to do. However, if you do it correctly, the president is keeping everyone on task and following up. But the president should not be planning every project or fundraiser, because that's what the committees are for. Ask club members for help. Be open and honest with your club members. If you're going through something personal or you're busy at work and need a little extra help, ask people to help with certain tasks. Delegating tasks will help to create a leadership pipeline. Who will be president 2 years from now? Who will step up and be the next? People often feel intimidated by their role until they realize they have been able to do it all along. For example, if you ask for help planning the induction ceremony, then someone may consider running for a position later down the line because they understand that they were able to do that effectively and it doesn't seem so scary anymore. Once you've delegated a task, check in with the member and see if they need help or how everything is going. Fun. Plan special events for the club and for members. Celebrate members' birthdays, anniversaries, Kiwanis anniversaries. And if you haven't seen someone in a while, send them a card in the mail to let them know you're thinking of them. It goes a long way to extend Kiwanis just beyond meetings and to let them know you care about them. Schedule social events, go to a cider mill, go out to dinner, plan a barbecue, anything. People joined Kiwanis for the service, but also for the camaraderies. So make sure people have the opportunity to get to know each other beyond a meeting. And we know during the coronavirus, it's harder to get together, but you can plan fun activities over Zoom, or you could plan socially distanced activities at a park. You can also try playing a game or a get-to-know-you activity at a meeting, especially when new people join. It's hard to learn about members of the club and activities if this can help people who are shy to feel more welcome and comfortable in the club. If people get to know each other, they will be more likely to want to volunteer together. Community awareness. It starts with you. Promote Kiwanis everywhere you go. Likely it will come up in conversations with family, friends, or at work that you're the president of this group. So use the opportunity to sell Kiwanis to these people. Ask friends, family, coworkers, and neighbors to come to a meeting and maybe consider joining. Utilize social media to share pictures and information about what Kiwanis is working on. Don't let your work and efforts go unnoticed. Make connections for your club with local school groups and other organizations and other service clubs so that everyone in the community is aware of what Kiwanis does and they can offer assistance throughout the year. Kiwanis strives to be what people think of when they think of community service and they need assistance. Utilize these connections so that these groups spread the word about Kiwanis. Committees. Each club has a list of standing committees within its bylaws, and many clubs have continued to add committees for different functions, such as support for specific fundraisers and service activities. Your standing committees likely include things such as financial review, membership, service, fundraising, SLPs, and public relations. By mid-July, appoint all committee chairs. Report your public relations and membership committee chairs to Kiwanis International via the Secretary dashboard on the Kiwanis website. By August 1st, chairs need to select members for each committee. During August, committees should meet to review materials, goals, and timelines. They'll form project schedules and submit a budget proposal for board consideration before the end of September. Check up with the committees in their progress throughout the year. Many vice presidents help the president to oversee the committee system. So let's talk about the duties of a vice president and president-elect. Kiwanis is a marathon, not a sprint. Since you want your club to be around long after you retire as club president, make sure to adequately involve your president-elect throughout the year and train them properly. Be honest about what worked during your year as president and what you think could be improved on. Share advice on what you learned and how to overcome challenges they may face in this role. Making a document with passwords needed, contact information for different groups, and deadlines and timelines is always considered helpful. And consider asking all the board members to make this type of document as well before their term ends. Vice President and President-elect both serve on the board of directors and step in during the president's absence. Work together with your vice president and president-elect at the beginning of the year to set goals and expectations of what each position should work on throughout the year. So a little overview of the treasurer duties. To help you understand the basics of what the treasurer of your club should be working on, the treasurer is responsible for completing any necessary tax forms for your club. The treasurer is expected to provide financial reports at all board meetings. The treasurer should create a club budget to be approved by the board by October 15th, and then the treasurer should hold the club accountable to this budget, also providing updates and helping the club keep on track with projects throughout the year in line with this budget. So also an overview of the secretary duties. The secretary is responsible for completing a monthly report to Kiwanis International through the club management system on the Kiwanis website by the 10th of each month. So an example of this would be please make sure your secretary is completing this report. You can check with your lieutenant governor, or you can view the report in the secretary dashboard view when you log into the club management system as president on the Kiwanis website. The secretary will add new members and edit any member info in the club management system. Ensure background checks are completed for SLP advisors. File club election reports of new officers by June 1st. Take minutes for all club meetings and board meetings, and share district and international information with the club, including delegate certification forms for conventions. Since the secretary is the record keeper, make sure to keep the secretary updated on any files or information throughout the year to archive. This will help the president-elect and incoming board of directors if they have previous agendas, flyers, and notes from your year to go off of. The president's role with the board of directors. The president presides over the board meetings, sets board meeting agendas, calls special meetings of the board if necessary, establishes goals for the club, and uses Robert's Rules of Orders to lead meetings. The president also serves as ex officio member of all standing and special committees, and is also available to assist all members with anything they may need. Installation and inductions. The president should arrange for new member orientation in order to get new members of the club familiar and adjusted with Kiwanis. Installation of officers typically takes place in September or October, since positions become effective on October 1st, as a ceremony to install the officers of the club into their respective positions and retire the previous officers. Invite your lieutenant governor to attend this meeting. This meeting can be held where you typically have your normal meetings, or could be more of a formal ceremony. It's really up to your club. There's also a pre-written script to induct members located in the president's guide. The induction ceremony is to induct new members of the club into Kiwanis. You can present them with their pin and a certificate. You can do this any time of year, even multiple times of year if you have multiple new members joining. These ceremonies are a good time to recognize members with awards if the club is giving out any awards for things such as a certain amount of years in Kiwanis or perfect attendance. Encourage your new members to invite family or friends to this event. They are joining something new, and it would be great to share with their family and friends what they're going to be doing, and potentially it's a great way to recruit even more members. At club meetings, always greet and welcome members, especially if you have guests. Make sure they feel welcome and that they are introduced to the club properly. Also keep in mind, if you have guests present at a meeting, it may be a good idea to explain some of your projects to them and how they work, because they may be clueless to your event. Meeting structure varies from club to club. Some clubs sing, some clubs have dinner, and some clubs don't, and that's okay. But overall, the president is responsible for making sure the meeting is scheduled and everything is planned for. Some clubs also have a program or a speaker at meetings. Some clubs may have a meeting to plan a work event or work on a project. Utilize an agenda for your meeting to stay on task and to set the tone for the meeting. Printed agendas or using PowerPoints are both great ideas. Conflict resolution. Even in Kiwanis, there's going to be some conflict. So take the time to listen to your members, and if conflict arises, do your best to help the members come to a resolution to fit those needs. And keep in mind, you cannot please everyone, and some people are going to vote for something one way, and some people are going to vote for something another way, so don't take it personally. And if you're still struggling, reach out to your district or your lieutenant governor if you need more help resolving any issues. Encourage others to engage and serve. Encourage others to lead. Most people will not join a club or take a position unless asked. Let the members know what you see in them by saying something like, "Hey, I noticed you did a really good job helping with the flyer for that event. Would you be interested in serving as our Public Relations Committee chairperson?" Provide opportunities within your club to involve members that may not attend current projects. Find out what would interest them and plan that. Maybe the reason no one is signing up for something is because that day or time doesn't work for them. Or maybe they don't like the project. Encourage them to get involved with things they are interested in and work with their schedules. Set the tone and the direction for the club. And as the president, be an example of what a Kiwanian should be. If you're not having fun in Kiwanis or enjoying a meeting or project, who else is? New and prospective members will see you as the face of the club, so be a good one. So now I'm going to turn it over to Sue for a minute here, and she's going to go over the Kiwanis Let's Talk.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you, Haley, wonderful. On every Thursday night, the Michigan District of Kiwanis hosts a session called Kiwanis Let's Talk that's open to any Kiwanis member in the Michigan District. And actually this has grown to be a global program. We started it in March as a way to connect our Kiwanis members in Michigan to see how they were doing with the pandemic, and it has actually grown quite large, and it's a program that we get Kiwanis members from all over the world to attend. This past Thursday, we had Kim Sheriff talk, who talked to us about how she went from being a non-runner to a runner, and how she has now run over 72 half marathons in the last, I think, 10 years. So she talked about her role, or what she did in her plan. Next Thursday, on July 23rd, the Kiwanis Club of Ormond Beach, Florida, will talk about their signature project, Kiwanis Reads, a Summer Challenge, which was a program that they submitted for recognition by Kiwanis International. And that program, their club has, I think, 11 or 12 members, but it's a program that has really grown, and they were the work that they do to provide reading for the students in their local schools. As you can see, we have a couple other programs coming up. On August 20th, Dr. James Lemoyne, who is a professor for the University of Buffalo School or University, has it serves on the Greenleaf Center for Servant Leadership, and is going to talk to us about servant leadership and how critical it is in today's environment. And you will be receiving a registration link as well, separate for that, with the district convention information. So we have several workshops planned. We've done workshops on Cajun cooking, to hunting alligators, to how to survive in COVID. So everyone's welcome to join. If you wish, you can register at that link for Zoom, or you can watch it on Facebook Live on the Michigan District of Kiwanis Facebook page. Next.
All right, so this year, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Michigan District will be holding convention virtually. So mark your calendars for August 17th through 22nd. A variety of workshops will be held on the first few days, August 17th through 20th, as well as some normal convention sessions on the remaining days. More information will be sent out to your email by the end of July. And also you can keep an eye on the Michigan District of Kiwanis Facebook page, where more info will be posted as well. Sue, did you want to go over any of or Fran, any of the workshops or anything? Oh, I think you're muted, Sue.
Nope, okay. We are working on the finalizing the schedule actually this weekend. From Monday, August 17th through Thursday, August 20th, we are going to have workshops throughout the day, starting at 10 a.m. in the morning with the Kiwanis Coffee Hour. And most workshops, the next one will be at noon, and then we start at 4 or 4:30 in the afternoon with workshops on membership, youth protection, service leadership programs. We have speakers that are coming in to talk to us about some of our partners with Heidi Ho and Terry Lynn, and then we also have some programs coming up on social media and service projects and etc. So those workshops are going to be available to anybody in your club. Anybody can sign up, and we encourage you, since this is an opportunity to attend convention from your desk or your kitchen table or your couch, that you can join those, and there is no registration fee. On Friday and Saturday, August 21st and 22nd, we are going to hold our traditional session. So at noon on Friday will be the honors and awards, the recognition session. And at 4 o'clock on Friday, we will hold our House of Delegates session. And what's important about the House of Delegates session is that every club received an email to allow them to register to their delegates for the House of Delegates sessions. Every club is eligible for 3 delegates. And this would be a great opportunity for your club to participate and not have to go anywhere and spend any money. So there are 2 candidates for the office of Governor-elect, Frank Palazzolo and Rosemary Robinson. And then Linda Lother is seeking endorsement from the district to run for Kiwanis International Trustee. So clubs need to go to the Michigan Kiwanis webpage and register their delegates by August 7th, because we will be using an online format. So the individuals who are registered will receive an actual link to be able to vote during that session. So if you need more information on that, let us know. But there is information on the Kiwanis of Michigan website. And then on Saturday, August 22nd, we will hold our memorial service at 9 a.m. To recognize those members who have left us. And then at noon, we'll do the retirement and the installation of district officers. So we encourage everybody to attend, stop in for a workshop. Like I said, there's no charge, and that information will be, we're finalizing the schedule now, so that information will be available for you Monday or Tuesday this coming week. So we encourage you to do that. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to take Sue, Fran, and Emily, and I will be taking any questions you might have had during the presentation. You can ask them in the chat or in the Q&A area. I'm not seeing anything yet.
What I'm going to do, since we have a small group, is I'm going to allow everyone to talk. So if someone has a question, they're welcome just to ask the question. You don't even need to go into the question and answer, but I see there's a question in the question and answer.
A little surprised by the youth protection guidelines. Can you go over that again? Yes.
So Kiwanis International established several years ago youth protection guidelines that are required for any Kiwanis member that works with our service leadership programs or a program such as Key Leader. These youth protection guidelines were established given today's environment so that Kiwanis International as an organization and you as individuals are protected, and that you have it's a complete background check that is done by Kiwanis International, and I believe it's good for 2 years. But once it's done, it has to be registered by Kiwanis International. Ones that you may have done locally for the Kiwanis for the Kiwanis acceptance have to be are not good. I mean, I realize that there are people that are teachers and work in other organizations, but you must have a background check approved by Kiwanis International to work with our youth. And if you were to attend a Key Club convention or a Circle K convention or a Builders Club program or action program, you would be required to have that. There is a full presentation available on that. We will be offering that during the convention week. And if you want a specific, we actually held it during one of our Kiwanis Let's Talk sessions. And you can actually go back to the Kiwanis Facebook page and look for it. Or if you send me an email, I can send you the link.
I thought it was interesting is our Allen Park Club, we are paying for all our members to get a background check. That way we don't have to worry on any project we're doing that everybody's been cleared already.
There's also another question. It says, what are the Kiwanis International rules or guidelines for taking photos of children and posting them, maybe like on your Facebook page or something?
There is a photo release form available on the Kiwanis International website. You should, because of the age of the children, you should be getting a release form. If the families are with them at the time, they can sign off on it. A lot of times, if you're doing it at a school or a community location, a lot of times they already have one. But you want to check with the people that are coordinating that program or what you're doing to make sure that you have the permission to put those child's pictures up on our Facebook or your Facebook sites.
If you're using pictures and you need to put pictures on your website or something, Kiwanis has a stock set of pictures that have already been cleared. So it's of a child, and you don't have to worry about getting the permission when you use those.
Yeah, that's correct. There is a complete set of photos that are free to Kiwanis members to use for their events and Facebook pages. So.
Your microphones are also open. So if you have a question you don't want to type, you can just unmute yourself and you can ask it right now as well.
I feel like I'm asking a lot of questions. This is Shayla from Detroit #1. Hi, guys.
Hi.
This is a lot of good information. I mean, I went through the leadership guide, and but going back to the committee deadlines. So the standing committees are outlined in the bylaws. By mid-July, the chairs have to be appointed, and then by, was it August, chairs have to select their members?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just want to make sure.
And those are recommended. We know that specifically this year, with the COVID and stuff like that, there are clubs that I can tell you that my club hasn't even elected its officers yet. Next year. So those are guidelines. Use them to work with what you need, but you have to do what's right for your club. I mean, some clubs just started meeting. They didn't meet at all during the pandemic when things were closed. So they're just now getting together to meet. So use what's best for you. And because of the pandemic, we weren't able to have, our sessions earlier like we had hoped for. So we're all playing catch up.
Right. Okay, thank you.
And kind of to elaborate on that, Robert asked, currently our club is meeting weekly via Zoom. Do you have information on what other clubs around the district are doing for meetings? I know my division, our lieutenant governor, has like a stockpile of like all of our Zoom meetings or what we're doing. I don't know if there's like a district-wide one. It might just be more for the lieutenant governors to share that info.
It's kind of a word of mouth. I know that a lot of clubs, I'm in the East Lansing Club, our club is meeting on Zoom. We actually went back to meeting in person as well. So we're doing a hybrid. We're meeting, we're Zooming our meetings that are actually happening. So people that want to attend, but a lot of clubs are meeting by Zoom, and they will post their information on Facebook. And sometimes it's just a thing to call the club and say, hey, are you meeting? Because some clubs have gone from a regular weekly meeting to a once a month meeting or a twice a month meeting. It's best just to call the local club. But a lot of the clubs are meeting by Zoom. And the one thing that's really cool about Zoom is that you can attend interclubs all over the world. On Facebook, if you're an active Facebook user, there are people in your club that are active on Facebook. A lot of the clubs post, hey, we're having a meeting, come join us, or we're having these speakers, come join us. And you can pop in and you can do interclubs all over the world. We've done interclubs in Switzerland and Nepal and wherever. And the other thing is, it's a great opportunity for you to share your club with your local community and say, hey, you've always checked to learn about what Kiwanis is doing. Come join our meeting. As I mentioned, we have a speaker coming in and for the Kiwanis Let's Talk program, but as part of the convention from Buffalo, New York. I have a speaker in September, Dr. Kent Keith, who wrote the Paradoxical Commandments, anyways, which are often attributed to Mother Teresa, is going to Zoom in from Hawaii. So there's opportunities to have different speakers, speakers you may not be able to get because of the time of day or the distance of the travel, can pop in for 15 to 20 minutes at a time. And that's been a great opportunity. So.
This is Robert.
Hi, Robert.
Hi. Sue, I was surprised to hear you say that your club is actually meeting in person, at least at times. Um, Zoom has been pretty good for us in some of the reasons you mentioned, I guess. The people can, actually attendance has been up slightly via Zoom than what we used to do in person.
Right.
And if the folks are on vacation or whatever, they can still meet. But there is certainly good reason to, if possible, to be in person, be face to face. So how is your club handling those in-person meetings? I'm assuming you're using some distancing of some sort.
Yes, we're only 12, let's see, 2, 4, 6, only 12 people can attend the meeting in person. The way the room is set up and there's social distancing. And what we have found is it's typically our younger members that are attending those. Our older members are still attending by Zoom.
Okay.
So it is social distanced. You know, we meet at a restaurant, there's still service, but it is social distanced. But by Zooming it, we can still involve those members because a lot of our members are like, oh, we're not going yet. And of course, it'll depend on how we're doing things. So.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Scott said the same thing in the chat box. He said he's in Boyne City. They're meeting in person, individual tables for breakfast, and Zooming in others. So a great way to include those who are comfortable meeting and social distancing, but also Zooming in those who aren't, which I think is important to include both.
I have gone to several of them that are in the park and they have a shelter and they're outside and having their meetings. Right now, the weather's not exactly conducive to that, but that's another way that you can spread out easier.
And Scott asked a great question. Well, I'd let everybody know, but yes, interclubs on Zoom count.
Woohoo!
So go for it. I mean,
Is Mike?
go ahead, Mike.
Okay. What I would like would be if there would be a roster of successful ideas of what's going on in the different clubs that we could access. Every club would have an opportunity to share some of their success stories, speakers that have been outstanding, that we get ideas to ask people locally to fill some of those roles that speakers in other areas are addressing. But that if there would be a place that we could go to, that just anything that's really exciting in our club, we could put it out, and then our board could go down and read through these things and be inspired locally without having, with the dinner club, the inner club, always being accessed, but also to be something we can continue to add to over time, because I think that would bond us together, and a good idea in other places might be just the thing that we need in our own club.
Well, we'll see if we can get something started like that off the Michigan District page.
Good.
Where we can do that. I know we're gonna do a little bit of that at the district convention, but I know it's always a challenge because we get a lot of calls like, what are people doing to raise funds now?
Yes. Yes.
What
you.
What are clubs doing to do service projects? One thing that's going to happen during the district convention during coffee hours, which will be at 10 o'clock in the morning by Zoom. So you're going to get your virtual coffee and your virtual biscotti. Is that the Key Club district is actually going to show us different online service projects that clubs can do. Whether it's there's a program out there called Free Rice, where if you answer questions, the money by answering the questions, it raises money for the hunger. There are clubs that are writing, thank you notes to their local communities because they have to do it at home by themselves, or but we're gonna do some of that at the convention.
Thank you, Sue.
You're welcome. I know one of the other things that I'm also working on is putting together a list of programs and program resources. So I don't know if we'll do that as a workshop, but we may just make that available as a guide of programs, workshop programs, because that's always a big question. But I can tell you that I've been on clubs that are, inviting people from all over the world to come speak because they don't have to leave their office.
Any other questions about president stuff or what's going on in the district, anything like that?
One thing I will mention, is that I hope everyone's aware that the Michigan District of Kiwanis has a dues incentive going on right now, a new member incentive. Any Kiwanis member who joins as a new member between now and September 30th of this year will not have to pay Kiwanis or international dues until 2021. That program was put in place by the district board kind of in the middle of pandemic as we started looking at things, but the district board determined that with some of the savings from not having a convention and other activities, that we could use that as a way to incentivize our clubs. And the first 150 members that join Kiwanis clubs between now and then, their dues will be covered by Kiwanis International or by the Michigan District. So no district dues, no international dues. Now, if your club has dues, they still have to pay for them, but it's kind of an incentive for you to invite some people who you may make not quite sure if they're interested in joining, but here's a great time to sell them for a year on what your club does, and they would just pay your club dues or whatever you decide to, however you decide to do that. And then I believe they were about 55, or there were a little under 100 spaces still left. So that's a great way to bring some new members into your club at no cost to them or you at that point.
Another thing is service projects that you can do. One that's very simple that you can do right now is contact your members that you haven't heard from. That would be a service project that you're talking about, finding about their welfare. So if you have members that haven't been on Zoom, find out, reach out, have your clubs reach out to them and talk with them. And that is a service project helping the community.
And also, touching on what Sue was mentioning for the dues, if you have any students coming in from a student leadership program like E-Club or Circle K into your club, their dues are waived for the first 2 years to the first club they join also. Any other questions or anything anyone wants to ask or mention? Oh, all right. Well, if you have any questions following up to this, you can get in contact with myself, Sue, Fran, or Emily, or anyone else. You can contact the district office for questions. And we're always here to help. So thank you everyone for joining today.
Have a great
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Great weekend.
This weekend.